demonstrator here on the side, blocking and tackling. This week I'm still angry, so I'm going to take him to the ground. Maybe a targeting call. You look at the film and you slice it and dice it a million different ways, and it doesn't become any easier even when you look at it again last night for the whatever time that is. I hate it for a football team that I couldn't get them in position to go win one that close. They, like I said, believe Saturday night, they're hurt. They're all the emotions that you can have when you have a game in your grasp and then you don't finish it off. It's hard, especially when a team that as close as that group is, that they've invested the way that they did, and then we let one get away, and it's hard to understand, hard to make sense of how things happen, and you relate it to some of the ways that you never know in the adversity that you're going to face in your own life. And so it's the process of winning, it's the process of getting into a game late in the fourth quarter against a really good opponent, and then having the belief and the will to go win one. It's still a learning process, and as an educator and a teacher and a coach, you always look for opportunities to continue to put your guys in position to be successful, and then teach them what it takes to go win. And we'll have another opportunity the next 4 weeks of the month of November. Every team will be about exactly the same, and it comes down to preparation, your habits, your togetherness as an organization, and then your execution. So I'm a firm believer in that, and we're going to continue to move forward. And I thought that maybe after getting started today with our Tuesday practice was one of our best ones that we've had, and that's a good sign. You're always, after coming off a tough loss or a big win, either way, you want to make sure that everything matches up the way it's supposed to, that you go have a really good practice. And we had a lot of guys on our off day yesterday that were in here together watching video and getting started on the preparation to play a really good Florida team. You look at what they have done over the course of the first 8 weeks. They're playing really well. They're deserving of their ranking, and I think offensively Franks is smart with the football. They're running him a lot. He's making plays happen. I think they've got two outstanding tailbacks. They've got linear speed on the outside that really helps them in the vertical passing game. Explosive players all over the place, that side of the ball, and then defensively very aggressive, very sound, and they can really run and play physical. So great atmosphere will be down there. I've been there one other time, I guess, and was then, and I know we'll get their best shot, and our guys will be excited to go play.
Barry, Drew was saying that this season the losses have been tough in a different way than last year. How do you apply the lessons that you guys learned and some of the adversity you went through last season, apply that to kind of making another push in the second half this year?
Well, we talked about this being our best this year, and every team's different. I've said that a few times, and the motivational factors on what this team needs is different than last year. They are more difficult because this team is closer, we're a better team, all those things that go into it, and then you come up short against quality opponents. Last year we weren't in those games, and this year we know that we're good enough to be in them and go win them. And we've made progress, but we got to break down the next wall, and we haven't yet. We're going to, and Drew feels it, just like the other seniors and the guys that were here the last couple of years. There was some investment, not full investment like there is now, and usually when you are that way and you come up short, it's going to hurt, and quite frankly, it's supposed to, and it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to just be able to get by it, and move on to the next one all of a sudden. That would be letting go of the rope. That would be being mediocre. That would be average. That would be a lot on why people that I talk all the time about the lessons on what this organization and program is and how you apply that to your real life. There's going to be strains and struggles. When these guys walk out of these doors, life is hard. It's tough, and you equate some of those things with the game of football and the opportunity to provide them structure and life lessons. We're going to use it in every situation we can to make us better. Not only make us better now, but make us better once they leave this place and then become dads and fathers and husbands and you know, in the real world. So we've made a lot of progress. We're going to keep making it, and now the next step is get that situation again and go win it.
Barry, when we talked to you on Saturday night, you said you hadn't had an angle of the call on DeMarcus. I assume you've seen a couple angles of it at this point. So what are your thoughts, and what did the SEC tell you? Because I would assume you guys submitted that play.
Yeah, the way that you know, and I had not, because of where I was standing Saturday night, a clear view of being able to really see it, and then the number of angles that are available now, you look at all those things. And the thing that I wanted to make sure that if I would change the teaching of the technique that we use, I wanted to make sure that I was right. And you go back and you look at all the different opportunities to see how the play unfolded, to see DeMarcus' initial alignment, his on-snap footwork, his eyes, his hand placement, the movement of his feet within the position of where the receiver was. I would not change one thing in how it was taught, how he played it, and how it was executed. Not one step. As you guys know, within our league, if you ever have questions that why something was or wasn't called, or just the flow of a game, we've got the opportunity to have open communication with our conference, and you turn those plays in you know, after every game, and then at some point you receive feedback from the league office after they look at all the angles that they've got. They provide feedback, and we haven't received that yet back from our league office.
When you have a game like that game, how much in the next 24, 48 hours are you really watching kind of body language and just seeing how resilient guys are, and what have you seen?
I think it's you better be watching absolutely every move. And again, if it's a win, you want to do the same thing. If it's a tough loss, you better be dialed in to absolutely everything. And if there's smoke, there's usually fire, right? If there's any red flags, you want to address it and see what's going on. I'm be very honest. It was a very hard Sunday. Not just for one guy. It was hard for a group of 115 that were still stung by coming up short. But I do think after a day full of opportunities to be around them and then meet them, nobody felt a lot better. But also you're able to make corrections. You're able to say, here are the reasons why, what we would change if we could, how we're going to move forward, and here's the vision on how we're going to go do that, the step-by-step process of getting back into the game plan to use what we've learned from Saturday night and apply it moving forward. And I thought, at the end of the day, Sunday, we were starting to make progress moving forward.
Here, do you anticipate having Kendall playing there or Emmanuel Waldo Saturday?
Kendall didn't practice today. We'll get him out there tomorrow in a limited role. Emmanuel practiced today and looked pretty good.
Barry, that was probably the most complete defensive performance you've gotten from your defense so far. And players talked a lot about buying. Were there things you saw Coach Walters, the rest of your staff do last week to kind of push them there?
No, I thought that we have been making progress in some areas defensively, and then they played more consistent. All 11 guys played more consistent on Saturday, and that's our standard. We've got to build on that one, and we need a better performance Saturday. Go ahead.
What have you seen from Tyree Gillespie and how he's improved?
Tyree was up. He came in a little bit later last night and was, had been in study hall, and then he stopped by and saw Coach Walters, and I happened to be in there with him watching video with Ryan. And Tyree said, I really, I want to learn how to watch video better. And that's just one example of, number one, he's so skilled. He's going to be, I think he has an opportunity to be one of the best safeties we've had here. He's just starting to figure it out also on what it takes. You don't want to watch film just like you're watching Monday Night Football. There's so many things that the process of teaching them how to do that He's starting to figure that out. So his preparation has become a lot better, and I think that's helped him. And then experience, the opportunity to go out and, last year there was a point that he was playing running back for us. So the number of snaps that he's getting, there's still some things that happen that are new for him. I think more than anything, the experience, the game slowed down a little bit, but also he's pouring more into it.
Even when Florida maybe hasn't been as successful as they have been in years before, they've had a really good defense. How's this one compare to what you faced the last couple of years?
Yeah, number 99, their defensive end is, I think, one of the best guys in the league in our conference. He is active. He's all over the place. He's a matchup. You better know where he's coming from. Disruptive in every area. And their front four are active, and really then you combine the linebackers with that. I think secondary wise, they've rolled some guys in and around. They feel like they're getting more of their, I don't want to say starting 4 or 5, but you see those guys stepping up and making plays who experience kind of like she was talking about with Tyree. They're as athletic as a group as we'll face.
Coach, in the back, how would you describe the team's identity entering the final stretch, final third of the season?
Our identity? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Identity.
Yes.
Well, you look offensively, I think we've got the ability to run the football in most situations and cases. I think that's something that has really helped us. The thing on Drew's ability or quarterback's ability to deliver the football not only in the vertical passing game, which has not been there every week, been inconsistent in that area. Defensively, I think we've been solid against the run. So I think you look at overall, there's the opportunity that we've been, at times, we've played extremely hard. We're doing some things together. We've got to do it a little more consistently all the way around. And that's something through the last month, the 4 games that you get in November, those things have got to step up, and you've got to be able to do it in order to win a game. So the focus there is to make sure that we understand what we need to do, and then go apply it and execute it.
There is Adam Sparks banked up at all, and
He was limited today in practice. Started off, was a little slow. He's got a bruised shin. Expect him to be full, ready to go. He'll have a good day tomorrow, I would anticipate, and be ready to go.
Barry, going back a couple months, Cale was talking today about the trip he took to Arizona after the bowl game. Do you remember the conversations you had with him before that trip and after, how it affected him at all?
Oh, I don't know exactly what conversation. I had a lot of them with him before he went on that trip, and I don't know which ones he's talking about. I wanted him to enjoy his time. I wanted him to be safe because of some of the things that he would be doing in his adventure, maybe alone. And I just wanted to make sure he got back in one piece and was ready to go play ball. So I'm sure you could fill in everybody what the other choice words I had to say for him. But I was supportive. Cale's a guy that really he's played as good at that spot as we've had in a long time. Also, everybody's got layers, right? Everybody's a little different. Cale is and I love him to death, but he takes piano lessons on Monday night. He's become fluent in speaking a second language. He's already got his next step mapped out on where he's going to go hiking. You guys need to get to know him a little bit more and get him to open up. He's unique in his own way.
You said you wouldn't change anything about the way DeMarcus played that last play, but leading up to it, specifically the play from the 27 where Kentucky got out of bounds at the 10, going back, looking at that, would you do that the same way?
Yeah, we've run that particular in-game, end-of-half situation, and with 8 or 9 seconds on the clock, I knew they had time for two shots. I did not want, I would rather not defend 2 shots in the end zone at that time, so I knew if we played it the way that we did, we would get an underneath throw, force it out, they'd have 3 or maybe 4 seconds left on the clock, and then I liked our play call at the end. So I thought, the ability to get into the second play on the yard line that they were, I liked what we called. I like the way that DeMarcus played it, and we had to do it again and make the same 2 calls.
Barry, I got 2 quick questions. When you submit something to the league, how long does it typically take for them to respond? So
Well, it depends on, probably how much they've got from other schools and other games, because they go through it very thoroughly, and then so every week's a little bit different.
And I don't want to get you in trouble with this, but just a big picture thing. But you have to stand up here, win or lose, and face the fire, and you get asked all these questions. Would there be any benefit, at least from a fan standpoint too, if the conference, not saying officials, but if the conference at least had a representative that could explain some of these calls? Because it seems like the game is getting more and more difficult to officiate, and fans are having a hard time understanding what's a targeting, what's pass interference. Could it benefit the game if there was a representative that at least explained some of these things after the game in terms of what fans are watching? And I don't know if you can answer that without...
You are trying to get me into trouble.
That's why I preface
No,
that.
I think everybody, you see what you see, and there's always questions, there's always, knowledge or lack thereof on some of the questions. I can bring that up in the off season with with our league office, but I don't. I probably should stop there. So that'd be about as deep as I need to get on it.
Or your depth and quality at D tackle, how unique is it this year, and then what's it allowing you to do on defensive team?
Yeah, we're rolling in a number of guys there, and you would like to think that it's going to help down the stretch here of the season, that there's a number of guys that have played real game reps. Also has the ability, hopefully, to sort itself out, which it has the last couple of weeks on who really we can count on playing, and then the familiarity that you need to have as the linebackers on how they fit in front of you. Everybody plays it just a little bit different technique-wise, so that's helped us. Kind of just some mainstays in there, but then also it should provide the opportunity to you play 35 snaps as opposed to 75. You play number 36, ought to be a lot better than 76 from a conditioning standpoint. So all of those things go into play. We also, I think Walter Palmore is playing his best football. Really been happy with the way that he's progressed this year. Elliott and Terry, those three, the combination of those three, they're going to be huge for our success here in the next few weeks.
With the manual back on the depth chart, is the idea of any potential redshirt off the table?
Yeah, unless it is off the table, unless we go out there tomorrow and he can't go after today. And so I've got holy water up in the office. I'm going to throw it on him, and we'll just kind of keep seeing how it goes. It was really promising today. He looked awesome, and it's exciting, but I'm also cautious because it's the most work that he's done in some time. We've got to see how it responds for tomorrow's practice.
I guess if you weren't able to go this weekend, I mean, is he open to that, or is it, hey, if I can play one game, I want to play one game?
Yeah, we've talked about it, and he thinks that he can go play the next 4 right now. So I'm going to be as positive and thinking that same thing as well. And then if we get to the position that we have a setback, then we'll bring that topic back up.
Anything more? Right, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.